Hello everybody and welcome to Uniko's 12 days of Christmas inspiration and giveaways day 6. I can't believe we are halfway through this Christmas series and well on our way to Christmas. Today I couldn't resist using, if you've popped on over from the Uniko Blogspot blog, you'll have seen today's product, which is Christmas Pop and the Layering Bauhaus Blocks stencil. I couldn't resist pairing these two together and using them early on. They are selling out super quick since their return, and I was afraid if I leave it too much later they'll disappear before I finish this series. Sorry, I just had to move the cat out of the way just then. She decided she would jump up. And she's getting a little bit big and would sit right in the way. So this is the card that I shared on the blog this morning. I've used some really nice vibrant colours, parsley, oceanside and poppy. And I've done this fabulous technique that I love at the moment, which is this spotlight technique, and it works really well for this open lined Christmas tree. I added a few rhinestones and the sentiment from Simply Said Blocks Christmas. So in this Christmas pop set, I'm not sure, I can't remember what videos I've done and what I haven't done. You get this lovely outline Christmas tree, and then all these triangle elements fit inside, and you can mix and match and layer them up as you like. And there's some little star accents and this tiny sort of tree as well. And this rectangle is like the stump if you wanted to use these triangles as trees and individual on their own. So it's a super fun set, and obviously I've just shown you this card, but I thought I'd show you a few others that I've made over the past few weeks when it was re-released and since. Here I've used the triangles and I've overlaid with gold embossing. Here I've done some simple masking with the solid tree and added the details. The sentiment on this one's from Pure Florals Poinsettia. Here I've created a lovely outline, Christmas sort of scene with colourful rainbow and some splatter. And these next few cards show some of the things that you can pair the tree with. This is one that I shared recently in a video to create a multicoloured background using the Background Blocks Rays. And it's a technique that can be used for lots of the different Uniko background blocks. Another simple design with just one of the triangles and the mid-century modern sentiment from Mid-Century Modern Wreath Builder. Another fun rainbow design, just layering the outline, and then I've coloured each section with a different colour. This sentiment is Festive Sentiments outlined, and I've stamped it and then coloured it with a fine liner. This one was the one I shared for the Christmas party link up that is still ongoing. Don't forget to link up your cards. I think there's about 5 days left for you to enter. So this stencil background is the Mod Builder background stencil, and I've used some lovely non-traditional colours. I really enjoyed making this. And this one I've shared recently as well, uses the Mod Background Builder stamp. And I've stamped it in black and then coloured and then just added a simple festive sparkly tree. So today I'm using the Layering Bauhaus Blocks stencil. I've used this quite a lot in videos, but I thought I would show it again because I just love this stencil. So I went ahead and trimmed my card to my usual size for my background, which is 10.5 by 14. I'm going to temporarily adhere it to my workspace. I'm just going to find the center. I just like to find the center and just try and center my stenciling as best I can. You don't have to. I guess it's just a methodical way that I like to work. So I'm just securing that down. I've gone ahead and chosen some colours for today already. I thought that I would use Midnight, Stardust and Cranberry as my colours. So you need 3 colours for this stencil for it to define the pattern nicely. This is just Scotch tape, and I always start with this layer of the stencil that has the 5 lines, and I use this middle line and these dots just to roughly line up in the center and make sure that the distance between these 2 edges is roughly the same, and then the same from top to bottom as well. But I am actually going to fill the whole of my pattern. Callie, will you leave the wrapping paper alone, please? She's found some wrapping paper to rip. She loves chewing and ripping things, so I do apologise for the noise in the background. But there we go. So I'm going to start with the midnight colour. And you're just going to fill this. Now this stencil is designed that the colour will only be applied to each stencil, and it will hide the other sections when you layer them, so you don't have to worry about the colours mixing. They will be separate. I'm not sure how this colour combo will look. I don't think it's one that I've used before. But I was trying to think of, I wanted to use Midnight. I knew that I wanted to use this darker blue. And then have a sort of Christmassy colour as well, so the cranberry. And then I was thinking I need something else, but not a bright yellow. I thought of Stardust because it's more of a gold yellow. So I'm hoping that this combo will work nicely. So I go through with the blue colour. And just peel it off, and it will reveal that first layer. Try not to do what I do and smudge. And then I'm going back to this second layer with the 4 lines, and I choose this one next because it means I can centralize it inside this top section, and you can see where it masks off the areas where you've already applied colour. So I'm going to go in with the cranberry for this layer. And I don't need to clean my stencils at all during this because each layer will have its own colour. So this is a fun stencil, and for those of you who love it as much as I do will be pleased that I've been working on another variation that can be combined with it and obviously used separately as well. But yes, I've been looking at expanding this stencil design. And then this is your third layer, and it just fills in the spaces that haven't been inked yet. And then I'm going to go in with the Stardust colour. I didn't get my blending brushes together today like I normally do. Luckily I keep them next to me. Hopefully this colour is nicely inked, because that's another thing that I didn't check, but it is, it's coming on nicely. So this is a sort of more of a goldy yellow colour, so not quite, it's bright and cheerful, but it's just got a sort of muted colour tone that it hopefully will sit lovely with the midnight and the cranberry. So you'll get to see again how this stencil works, and how to fill a larger space using it. So I'm putting my lids on just so I don't get ink everywhere, and that is how it looks just done in the center. And obviously you don't have to do it in the center, you could just have it offset, and there's different ways you can build this stencil up to get different looks. So then you go back to your second colour and your first layer in your first colour. Now you can either put it here to build up the design, or you can move it to this edge here to build up the design. That is entirely up to you how you build this design, but it works in both ways of depending where you place it. It's about just building the blocks. And now you can probably hear in the background Bonk, one of the chickens, announcing that she has just laid an egg. So if you're wondering what that noise is in the background, it is one of our chickens in the back garden. You can guarantee that you'll start a video and then all the noises will happen. I just need my husband now to walk in halfway through me doing this video, as he's working from home today. So again, the process is exactly the same, just use your colour that you've used on this first layer. Now if you wanted to, you could change your colours and alternate the order of them just by cleaning your stencils and changing the order, but I like a bit of sort of continuity. It's not something that I've tried yet, is switching around the colours, but it'd be interesting to see how it will look if you did that. So there's another idea. And like with all other stencils, you can emboss or use pastes through these as well. The only thing I recommend though, if you wanted to do, say for example, add sparkle to each layer, I would use embossing through it and then embossing powders, especially if you wanted to do it with all 3 layers. If you do it with paste and you do the first layer, for example, you will then struggle to add paste to any of the other layers, because the paste is quite raised when it dries, and when you apply your stencil again to do another paste, I found that the paste sort of, because it was raised up a bit, it seeped across into areas where you didn't want it to be. So just a little tip, where if you did embossing powder, Versamark ink and embossing powder through, it's not going to be as raised, but you'll still get the sparkle, and then you'd still be able to apply it to the other layers without it seeping anywhere else. So that is just one thing that I have discovered with stenciling. By all means, use the paste and give it a go. And it is good if you just want to add a bit of sparkle to one layer, to one colour. I've done it for a Halloween card, a Halloweeny themed card, where I used this stencil and the cat from Mid-Century Modern Perfect Day. And it looks pretty just doing it in the one colour. But yes, that's just one thing that I discovered. Now, when you build the design around to fill a larger space, you might want to change up the order that you do the colours in, just so you can sort of build the design up and sort of centralise it. That's just another little tip. It is easier. You don't have to do it in the same layering format. Just don't do what I've done in the past and mix your colours if you stick into the same colours. Looks like my cranberry ink is nice and juicy compared to all the others. I must have re-inked this pad recently, which is good. But you could just do like finish wherever you like. There are no rules to say you have to fill the whole space. But I do like adding the colour and filling a larger area. I think I just love this stencil. I know I'm biased, but it is rather fun. And there's so many different colour combinations and products that you can use it with. Sometimes you don't even need another element. You just need a sentiment and then you're done. I saw a fun sort of technique where you can stencil through a mask to change the shape. Obviously I've done it before with other stencils, but that would be quite fun if you had an oval shape to then do the block design through it. It must have been Jennifer Maguire that did the video, and I might do a Uniko version using some Uniko stamps to show you what I mean in the coming weeks. I've got some new stencils being released the first week of January, so the countdown to the new release starts with sneak peeks on the 30th of December, and then we have our product introductions starting on the 31st, and then the products go live on the website on January the 5th. And I have some fun new stencils coming. There are 4 stencil designs and 3 new clear stamp sets, so I'm super excited about that. If you've seen the blog already today, you'll have seen that I have some fabulous festive offers in store. The first one is I've reduced free online shipping, the minimum spend, to achieve free worldwide shipping. And the reason why is because the reason why I've put that offer on today is because I'm having to close shipping to the EU and Northern Ireland at midday on Monday the 9th. Now the reason for that is, if you haven't seen any of my emails or social posts about it is this GSPR or GPSR. I keep forgetting which order the letters go in, but basically it's General Product Safety Regulations, and they are changing come the 13th of December in Europe, the EU, and Northern Ireland. Now, Northern Ireland is part of the UK, but because they border Ireland, which is part of the EU, these regulations are coming into force as well if you sell products. Now, I went to an online event today that went through in a little bit more detail, and it's really complicated, I have to say. There is a lot of work involved for small businesses to comply, and also costs that I'm not 100% sure on if a small business like mine can afford. So I have a lot of research ahead of me. Basically, I have to make sure that my products, so clear stamps, stencils and dies, are compliant and meet these regulations. But there has to be documentation that goes along with each product, which sounds fine because I've only got 3 product lines. But the bit I found out today is these guidelines and safety things need to be in each of the 24 languages across Europe, and for each product, which doesn't sound too bad, because I thought when she mentioned about doing it as QR codes, but I believe they are exploring that option of it to be available on the click of a QR code, and then you can find your language and select your language and see the documentation and everything in that language. But they're saying at the minute, because obviously these regulations are only coming in as of the 13th, that it needs to be written and included. So again, a lot of work for me as a business owner that does everything, that I wear all the hats. And the expensive part is having a responsible person for it all to fall back on if there are any problems, sort of like a legal representative for your business, and that is the bit that costs the money and I am still unsure of. So that is why I have done a free shipping offer, so that any of my customers in Europe and Northern Ireland, if they want to place a final order before I close on midday, Monday the 9th, you are able to get an order in and for it to be shipped before these regulations come into force. So that's the first offer. So I've reduced it to £30. Normally it's £75 to get free shipping. Orders will be tracked, which is something else that I don't normally offer when I reduce shipping rates, but honestly I am so appreciative of everyone who's followed me and supported this business over the last 12 years, that is just a little festive gift to you all. And it's open worldwide as well, so free shipping on orders of £30 or more, and that option will come up if your order qualifies. The other festive offers that I've put on today is applies to Big and Bold collection, Everyday Sentiment collection, Flower Power collection, and Simply Said blocks. I have got a 3 for £15 offer on those collections, and you can mix and match any 3 products across those 4 collections if your order qualifies. When you go to checkout, you will see the discount applied. You won't see it if you just look at your basket. You actually have to go into the checkout bit to see the discount applied. And then I have the last one is a 3 for £12 on £4.50 stencils that are in stock. Because I'm not restocking any more stencils before Christmas now. It only applies to the ones that are in stock and available. And again, the discount will show when you go into checkout. So they are the offers. To be in the know of offers and things that I have on and information, I do highly recommend signing up for my newsletter, because I always put them in there, and I'm better at explaining written than I am describing. So if you've missed any of them, I have popped them on today's blog post as well. So they are the fun festive offers I have available. The offers will expire at the same time, Monday at 12 midday, and everything will revert back to the normal price. Now I need to remember this off the top of my head, which I probably can't because my memory is terrible at the minute. But I did put a post, and I will add it to a blog post this week because I don't think I did that. My final shipping dates, basically for the UK, last day to place your orders before Christmas closing is the 19th of December. Anything placed after 5 p.m. on the 19th will be processed and shipped on the 27th of December, and I'll be just doing a few skeleton jobs here in the studio. The boys are off school still, and my husband will still be off work, so we will be spending some family time together. I will answer any emails and inquiries that come in if the mood takes me, but I am going to be taking some nice rest and time away just to recharge over the festive period. Obviously, we have the release and things come in, so I will be doing bits and pieces. I will still be present on social media, posting and stuff, but bear with me if I don't get back to you straight away. What other news while I'm filling in this last section of this stenciled background? You'll be pleased to hear I have done the next part of this card. I pre-did it, but I thought this is a good opportunity for people to see this stencil in action again if you haven't seen it in action before, and it's a good reminder because people often forget how this stencil works. The amount of times I get asked, oh, could you just show me again? So this is a good reminder of how this background is built. And I have to say, this is quite a fun colour combo. I'm quite pleased with this combo. It's got a very mid-century modern feel to it. Now I'll have to see when I've done it as to how the Christmas tree that I've pre-stamped looks against it. It might require a sort of matte layer to put it against. I'm not sure yet. It might get a bit lost amongst the pattern, but we'll see when we get to that bit in 2 seconds. There's only this little bit of yellow and then the background is done. So I thought today's video was going to be super quick, but I've chatted lots and told you lots of things, so hopefully I've filled in some gaps. Ta-da! So that is the background. Super fun. I think it's super fun. Obviously you can see I've not lined up perfectly here and at the top here, but it's really hard to notice, I think, unless you scrutinize. Now I went ahead and stamped the Christmas tree, and I did it in green, so I did it in evergreen with a nutmeg stump, and then I gold embossed the zigzag sort of string pattern. As you can see, if I bring it closer to the camera, it's got this speckly gold effect on the green. Now that is because I didn't use my anti-static tool before embossing, so some of the embossing powder stuck to my green where I didn't want it to, but I left it like that because I thought, oh, well, it looks rather festive. So I didn't bother. So what I might do, I know it hides a bit of the background, but I'm going to trim this piece of card just to a thin triangle, just to mount the Christmas tree so it doesn't get too lost in the background. So I will do that now quickly. I'm going to do it 7 by 10. It's a size that I've often done these little layers at, hence my choice in sizing. And I'm only going to do it one layer of the white, and I'll adhere the Christmas tree with foam adhesive and then adhere the panel as well using foam adhesive. Actually, I'll do the tree and then I need a sentiment. I'm trying to think of a sentiment to use. Should have maybe done the sample on the blog as this one time wise, but hey ho, feel free to speed me up. But if you have these products, like I said in a video the other day, it's a fun opportunity to craft along with me. And I think that's probably why I don't go live as much. I will try and go live more in 2025. But when I record these videos, it means that you can pause them and craft along with me, and come back to it if you haven't got time to watch it all in one go. But then, like I just said, it's an opportunity to craft along with me, like you're in the craft room with me, if you have the products I'm using, for example, or something similar. So the Mod Background Builder stencil that I used on this card, and there's a Mod Background Builder's circles, are designed in the same format as this shape, that you can build a larger area. You just haven't got the separate layers. Sentiments. I haven't got all of them with me. Where am I? Right next to me. It's always the way, you're looking for something and then it's right next to you. I'm going to use Happy Christmas from the Background Blocks Christmas. I'm just looking for a block to pop it on. This one's been sat under my cloth, it's a little bit wet. So I'm just using the Nocturne ink as normal. And I'm quite happy to stamp this in black today. It's quite a bold card anyway. And I'm just going to stamp roughly where I feel is the center. I'm just eyeballing it there. Just give it a little blow to dry. Not that it'll probably be long enough, but so I try not to smudge it while I put this adhesive on. I've definitely got enough cards. That is one of my jobs this weekend, is to make sure I send out the rest that I need to send. So I am sorry to say to you, if you're watching in the EU or Northern Ireland, that I'll be closing shipping to you, unfortunately, come next week. I hope to come back in 2025 with good news. It probably won't be till sort of mid-January. I know a lot of places close completely over Christmas from around the 20th till January. I spoke to my stamp manufacturer the other week, and they're trying to find out more information as well. Obviously they've been asked by quite a few people, but they were less in the know as I was, really, it sounded like. So hopefully we can sort this out and get back to things in the new year. So I'm just turning it this way. I was going to turn it that way. I'm trying to sort of make it equal around the edges from side to side and top to bottom. And that is the finished card. And that one was from today. So 2 completely different looks, but using the same products. The same 3 stamp sets. So my little giveaway today is the Christmas Pop clear stamp set and the Layering Bauhaus Blocks stencil. And I might even throw it in the sentiment set. I don't know how many I've got in stock of that at the second, but if I have and they haven't all just flown off the shelves, I'll include that too. Like other giveaways, if you already own any of the products, an alternative prize will be offered to the same value, probably in gift certificate format, unless you are in the EU or Northern Ireland, and then I will offer you an alternative in-stock prize. Any prizes that are won by people in the EU or Northern Ireland will be sent as a personal gift from me, Beverly. So as far as I'm aware, sending gifts and what I've been told is not affected by these regulations. So prizes are announced on the 13th, so I will, if any of you in the EU have one, I will contact you ASAP to get them out to you straight away, so to avoid any of this. But yeah, thank you for joining me today. Sorry for all my ramblings. I will be back tomorrow with another video, and I'll try and make it a bit quicker as well. I might even do it as a short, so with minimal talking. We shall see. Anyway, thank you for joining me and see you again soon. Bye for now.